The time is 6:49. Welcome back, everyone. There we have a beautiful view of the Beartooth Mountains. Lots of snow up there still, but lots of green down below. Looking great up on the rims as well. Kind of inspires me to go out for a walk today. Let's go ahead and get started with the news. We began with an Amber Alert issued for an 18-month-old boy by the Billings Police Department. The missing boy, Christopher Joseph Gets Down Often, was last seen at 5 o'clock Sunday evening with his biological father, Ernest Gets Down Often. We're told the boy has serious medical conditions that require proper care and medications several times a day. An investigation determined the boy's father is not physically or mentally capable of caring for the child. Be on the lookout for a 2006 white Chevy Cobalt with a Warrior sticker on the back window and missing hubcap on the back right wheel. The car belongs to the father's ex-wife, and the child's car seat was discarded before he took off with his son. They're possibly heading toward Hardin or the Crow Reservation area. If you spot them, call local law enforcement. Now on to national headlines for today. The Justice Department will have the Inspector General look into whether or not the FBI infiltrated President Trump's campaign for political purposes. The announcement came just hours after the president tweeted Sunday that he will officially demand it today. The request will be folded into an existing review of the FBI's handling of the Russia investigation. A new threat for Hawaiians on the Big Island. Lava has reached the Pacific Ocean, which may cause lays, a hazardous mix of glass particles and noxious gas. More than 40 structures have already been destroyed by lava, and one man was hit by lava splatter, shattering his leg from his shin to his foot. And 2 people are dead after a North Carolina man drove his car into a restaurant Sunday. Police say Roger Self intentionally rammed his car into the Surf and Turf Lodge, killing his daughter, a Gaston County Sheriff's deputy, and 1 other person. Self is being held without bond and will be in court later today. Closer to home, a familiar face returned to Montana to listen and hear what ranchers have to say. During Sunday's roundtable, Secretary of Interior Ryan Zinke started with the topic of energy independence and the U.S. He stated Montana should be energy dominant, that it's best to produce energy in this country under reasonable regulations than watch it get produced overseas with no regulation. He also spoke about the need to make changes at the Department of Interior.
This next year, we're going to do a grand pivot. And the pivot is, I think the energy sector is fine. The grand pivot is reorganization. But imagine if you have a salmon and a trout in the same stream. Okay? Upstream you have a dam, downstream you have irrigation, and if that stream passes by a Forest Service holding. It happens all the time. Whether you want to replace a bridge, whether you want to put a dock or rebuild a riparian bank, you're likely going to have multiple biological opinions produced independently by multiple agencies with different missions in different regions. And you'll wonder why we can't get things done.
Yesterday's visit was Zinke's only stop in Montana on his 10-day trip. He will travel south to South Dakota on Tuesday. Now for the latest in flood watch out of Missoula. The Clark Fork River levels were lower than predicted all weekend, but water levels are expected to rise again today. But residents knew not to get comfortable. According to Missoula County, there are several homes in the evacuation zone still seeing high waters. The sheriff's office plans to reassess the evacuation area later today and evaluate if it's safe for flood victims to return home. Now we go to Washington, where a weekend bike ride turned deadly when a cougar suddenly attacked. It happened in North Bend in the foothills, about 30 miles east of Seattle. The cougar preyed on 2 mountain bikers Saturday as they cycled through rugged terrain. A 31-year-old man managed to escape, but then the mountain lion returned, chasing down and killing the other man in the group. Fish, Wildlife, Fish and Wildlife eventually shot and killed the cat. They said there was no indication the men taunted the animal in any way before it attacked. This is the first time in nearly a century a mountain lion killed someone in Washington state. A 13-year-old boy was killed in 1924. Back here in Montana, the woman who was attacked by a bear more than a week ago near Libby is now out of the ICU. Amber Cornack was in her first full week working with Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks when she was attacked, suffering 2 skull fractures and several lacerations to her head, neck and back. Cornack hiked 2 miles back to her car after the attack to get help. And last, in case you missed it over the weekend, a suspect in a Washington murder was captured in Montana. A 6-time convicted felon and dangerous gang member, Jacob Ozuna, was taken into custody in Hardin. The Bighorn County Sheriff's Office confirms Ozuna was arrested Saturday morning. Ozuna has a $1 million warrant for first-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, and unlawful possession of a firearm out of Yakima, Washington. Washington news station Q13 Fox reported Ozuna allegedly shot the victim multiple times earlier this month. Bighorn County Deputy Jeremy Middlestead and his trainee Jason Thompson spotted Ozuna coming out of a store. Ozuna ran, and the deputies were able to catch up to him, taser him, and then arrest him.